Okay. I decided to just use my phone because that's the second time I tried to use the laptop to go live and it just all blurry. So I am here. It is 6 p.m. Panama time. It would be 7 p.m. EST. And let's see if some people show up because um, that is what this is about. The seasoned creators, for people who are older, who want to go how to get monetized on their channel. And that is what this is about. Hola, welcome whoever is here. I need to see the chat. Hello. Welcome to the chat. Hi there. Only one person. Latoya, hey. When do you get here, Latoya? When do you come to Panama? I know you are making plans. Hola, please introduce yourself so I know who's in the chat. Oh, April. Oh, girl, you have a way to go. I might be in the States in April. Actually, I'm supposed to be in the States in January. So I'm going to try to sell my house. So depending on how long it takes, hopefully not till April. I'm not blurry, thank you. Well, I'm on the phone right now, but when I was on the laptop, I switched. I went to my iPhone. I don't know why. I need to get a subscription to StreamYard. That's what I need to do. I'm just so cheap. I don't want to spend money. Do you have love for me? Oh, Brian, go away. Hello, hello. Oh, let's see, 33. Let's wait till about 50 people, then we'll get started. Yeah, it's Wednesday, and I open all the blinds. You know, in my video this week, I gave you a tour of my apartment. I don't really want to do it, but people kept asking. They want to see what it looks like, so I did like a short, and you get to see what I'm looking at. But in Panama, it gets dark like around 6:30. So by the time I have all the lights on. I don't have any ring lights, so hopefully you guys can see me. And if we don't drag this out too long, then it will be a problem. Because usually when I go live, or when I record during the day, and I'm always facing those. I have like 5 big windows, so I never have any issues with light. Where am I from, ma'am? I was born in the Caribbean, and I've been in the U.S. since I was 18 years old. And then I've been in Panama for almost 2 years now. I wasn't blurry? Oh, thank you. Oh, maybe I have to check the background. Okay, well, thank you, sis. I don't know anything about these technicalities. I will check it because I love my Mac, and I couldn't understand why it's always blurry. You want to ask a question? Go ahead. Are you able to turn up the audio? Uh-oh. I thought I had it. Okay, this is as loud as I can get. Can you guys hear me better now? Jesus Christ is Lord. Yes, He is. Can I see your house, please? You're just going to have to watch my video that's going to drop on Friday. And towards the end, that's when I do the tour. My, and Cali is cool. Okay, I don't know what that means, but hello, 42, we're almost there. When we get to 50, we'll get started. This is kind of an impromptu live because after my last video, I had so many questions and I realized there are so many people who may be struggling with their channel and trying to figure out how to get monetized. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to start talking about it because I really can't cram everything into one live. I hope you understand that. You are Lord of our life. Oh. I moved back home to Jamaica. Well, you know, Jamaica sounds pretty good. I think somebody asked me one time, I can't believe you didn't retire in Jamaica. I haven't even visited Jamaica, I'm sorry to say. And I know I would love the food, the landscape, the beaches. I know I would love it. I think the only concern I had for Jamaica was healthcare. And you know, when you're a certain age, you have different concerns. Hello, Greta. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Oh, I know. I can only imagine. I can. The coconuts and the sea. Yes. You know I'm Caribbean. I love all that. The plantain and all that curry, whatever. Bailey, hola, Latonia. Jamaica is beautiful. Yeah. You know, I'm even embarrassed to say I've never been to Jamaica. Seriously. Thank you. I know we reached 4,000. You still come to the U.S. Well, you know, U.S. has its, you know, all of us go back there sometime for whatever reason. Do you like BBC? Are you talking about the TV station, the news, English, England? Eh, I remember when I was in Manchester in the UK, I spent 3 weeks there, and the BBC office was right next to my bus stop. So, all right, we reached 50. All right, let's see what time it is. Maybe we'll time ourselves. 6:09. Perfect. Bienvenue, bienvenido a todos. Gracias por estar aquí. Hoy, el miércoles. Very nice to have you guys. Yes, the Lord has been good to me. I reached 4,000. I don't deserve it, but I do because I worked hard for it. So, guys, the reason I decided to do this live, you guys know I do a cooking live on Sunday at 10 a.m. This is my outlet because I just love to cook, sharing healthy recipes with folks. And we also do like a little chat. You know, I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I always like to give people some tips, you know, for life. Because, you know, a lot of us struggle with certain things sometimes. But after I posted, that last video I posted is getting like 500 views. I interviewed this woman from Kenya. And in my mind, I thought it would be so interesting to a lot of people to see how a woman in Africa enjoys retirement compared to a woman from America. Mr. Algorithm said, You know me and Mr. Algorithm. He's like, nah, we don't like that one. So, that's another tip. If you want to be a content creator, listen to your audience. Watch the comments. Don't come up with your own idea. Oh, I think they might like that. Unless they tell you they want to see it, don't do it. So we're all learning, right? Okay, so the video prior where I said how a 66-year-old got her channel monetized in 4 months, which is what I did. And I knew it might be of interest to some people. I just didn't realize how much. I have gotten a ton of comments. Not people, you know, they're very happy for me, which I'm very grateful for. But it's like, well, you know, my channel is not doing so well. Well, I did it 2 years ago and I haven't done anything with it. Oh, I have 100 subscribers and it's very slow. Trust me, I've been there. I know the feeling. So I thought maybe I could come live, and I am thinking, I have a trip coming in November. So I thought maybe I could do a live every Wednesday for the next 5 weeks because you guys There is no way I can tell you everything to do in this one live. So what I'd like you to do is get pen and paper or your note on your phone and just jot note, because that's what I do. That's what I do. Look at that. I'm old school, so I'm always writing things down. So my challenge is, what do I put in this one? What do I put in this one? I have to get myself organized. So I'm always taking notes. And I do have notes on my iPhone that I'm using right now. I have a note section where I put things in. So being an eternal learner is so important. Okay, so I've told you why we're doing the live and the schedule that we are going to follow. So my video 2 weeks ago, I think it's about 10,000 views right now. After a week, was it a week? Yeah, about a week, maybe 10 days. I told you about the one video that kind of started the whole thing going, was the video I said, 9 things you may not like about Panama. I was asking someone one time, what types of videos tend to go viral? And like I said, I don't even know what that means. How many views do you need to have for it to be viral? To me, viral means it's a video that kind of resonates with some people, and then Mr. Algorithm says, oh, they're clicking like. Well, they like it, therefore, we're going to suggest it to multiple people, and that's how you keep seeing your subscriber count go. And I said also that sometimes you don't even know which video is going to go viral. I mean, seriously. I watched that video over and over, and I'm like, what did I say in this video that resonated with people? I know I kind of laugh, I make you laugh, and I crack jokes, but other people crack jokes too. I can't put my finger on it. The video two weeks before about how I got the channel monetized, I'm getting messages from YouTube now saying, oh, your video has gotten 109% more views than the month before. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And they tell me exactly which video. I don't understand how this algorithm works, to tell you the truth. Some people say they have studied it. There is one woman who's very successful. She says, I understand the algorithm and I'm working it to my advantage. And she's got over 100,000 subscribers, so she must. I am not there yet. What the purpose of these lives that I'm going to be doing for you is going to be what I know. Little old me with 4,000 subscribers, there is no way I can consider myself a guru, an instructor. I always tell you that. Maggie is only going to share with you. But I want you to know that if you want to be serious about starting your channel, and I'm going to make the case in this one video today, this live, I'm going to make the case for why it's a good idea. And then now that I'm looking at this topic, I'm seeing a bunch of videos saying, over 50, yeah, you should start a YouTube channel. And why we have an advantage as I call the seasoned creators. And maybe at some point, depending on the response I get from these lives, I may choose to do a separate channel just for that. I don't know yet, okay? So today I want to talk about why you should, why it's a good idea, and then the next 4 weeks, next week I want to say, what is your why? You have to have a strong why, because when things don't go so well, when you don't see the subscriber count, when you feel down in the dumps because you're not seeing the results, your why is going to make you hang in there. So you have to really be clear about that. One thing to know about YouTube, this is not child play. It's not a hobby. The people who are killing it on YouTube, people will tell you that, and you've heard that before, you have to treat it like a business. I have owned 2 or 3 businesses in my lifetime, and I know how hard I worked. The last business I had was a cafe, a restaurant. I worked so hard. I used to go home you know, it was a cafe, so got there at 6:30 in the morning, worked till about 2 when I closed off. Then I had to clean. Then I drove to the store because there was a list that was never empty. There was always something missing that I needed to get. I would drive to Sam's or some other place. Then I would return back to the cafe and unload, right? And sometimes, most every day, I had to prep for the next day, you know, cutting, chopping, putting in the bag, be ready. Because you can't come in at 7 and say you're going to start everything over. There's something called mise en place. You have to prepare, you got to prep. So by the time I get home, it usually be like 7 or 8 o'clock. And I would be so exhausted that a few times I'm coming to a traffic stop and I fall asleep. Boom! I have bumped 4 cars. The last one, it was a little Asian man. I mean, it wasn't hard because, you know, I'm coming to the light, but it was like I fell asleep and then I bumped and he came out. He said, "You hit me. I can't believe you hit me." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, so sorry." And then I finally realized, I'm like, I'm going to kill myself or somebody. I need to do something. Okay? So work is required. If you want success in this YouTube space, you're going to have to put in the work, and no one's going to do it for you. My job here is to inspire you and give you some tips on how to do that. Okay? So what is your why? The next week we're going to talk about channel structure, because there is what I said in the last one. There's a science to the madness. You can't set your channel up any kind of way. Everything in YouTube is measured. There is a ton of information. And the last one we're going to do is about looking at the analytics. YouTube gives you so much information, so much feedback about how you're doing, what you should be doing. There is YouTube University where you learn. So sometimes it may take you a few weeks just to get the knowledge that you need before you do that first video. So don't be in a rush to say, "Oh, I'm going to start tomorrow." You got to think through it, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I did that. So channel structure, and then tips for success. Because again, like I said in the last video, there is a system. People who have, like, there's a guy called Mr. Beast, and you probably should check. I mean, he's a gamer. I'm not really into he's doing all kind of crazy things, putting money in his ears, and he just goes all out. And apparently, those kind of things are attractive to some people. So he's got his audience. I'm not part of that audience, but you know what? There are billions of people in this world, right? If you want 10,000, it's a drop in the bucket. You just have to structure yourself to get to 10,000. And I think I'd be okay with 50. I don't think I want to get to 100. Not that I can put a stop to it if they keep watching my videos and subscribing. No. But there is a science, there is a system, and that is what we're going to talk about today. So how about in the chat, you guys tell me whether you have a channel, whether you're thinking of starting a channel, and what some of the challenges might be for you. Go ahead and write some stuff. Hello. You weren't at 2,000 yet either, but it happened. It happened. Yes, SEO tools, very helpful. But now they say don't worry about tags. Nobody, don't put tags. Well, I don't know. But I know this week I have gotten a lot more feedback from YouTube than I had before. Now, whether the feedback is because I've reached the 4,000 or YouTube is constantly changing how they do things. So that's why you have to kind of be up and up on what's coming, what's changing. All right, guys, come on. Just tell me if you have a channel or if you're just thinking about it. Why are you here? Why are you here? I would like to know. Go ahead and tell me. Thinking of starting a channel, need to start. Very good, Greta. Anyone else? And why? I mean, we can start talking about the why now. Is it because it's trendy? Is it because people are talking about it? Good evening. I don't have a channel, thinking of a history channel. I mean, this is the kind of thing about YouTube and about learning and about information. The sky's the limit. There are no limits. I mean, you can talk about anything and you're going to find an audience if you know how to craft a message and to go after the audience, right? Anything. I've seen people talk about sewing buttons and how you put art on the wall and cleaning your kitchen pots. I mean, anything, right? Okay. Not too many of you are responding, but that's okay. All right. Why? One of the reasons I think you are here, in addition to saying, I want to start a channel, but if you have a channel, you probably saying, how can I make some money? How can I see something moving on that channel? You know, people saying, oh, we like this video, we like this information. People in your comments talking back to you. That is so important, right? But monetization means money, right? You want to get monetized because you want to get some money. And I said also, you may not become a millionaire with YouTube, but some people are getting pretty nice income from it. I mean, and again, for me, I think maybe $2,000 a month would be nice. I'm not there, but that's a goal, right? And when you become a partner in the YouTube Partner Program, when you get that email that says, congratulations, welcome to the YouTube Partner Program, and that's one of the reasons YouTube is successful, because the creators decided to share the wealth. They didn't want to just get all the advertising money, and they say, you put in content, we want you to have people watch, because this is the goal of YouTube. They want you to put up those videos, and while people are watching your videos, they insert those ads in, and that's how they make money. So for them to say, I know I had a couple of super chats, and I think they took like 40% or something like, and I'm like, I didn't even have it. I don't really care. But the fact that they decide to give you some other ad revenues, that's one way you make money on YouTube. The other way you make money on YouTube, you have companies looking at your information and saying, oh, I think she lines up with my product or service. Maybe I'm going to hire her as a brand ambassador. I think I was doing some volunteer work today, and I was checking my phone. There was a long email from a company wanting me to do something with them. I haven't read the whole email yet, but that's another way you become a brand ambassador. You talk about their product. You see that when you're watching a video, they have affiliate links for like vidIQ and StreamYard and any kind of software. Some people have memberships. Once you become part of the partner program, you can decide to put something called membership. When you have people pay like maybe $9.99 a month for you to give them extra content or special privileges. I didn't want to do that because I don't want to work any harder than I'm working now, and I don't want anybody else to ask me for more than I'm willing to give. So I'm like, no memberships for me. Some people also, they have a marketplace where they can have items like t-shirts and other things. I'm not doing that either. I'm not doing that. But what I would like to do is to continue growing, get the ad revenues, and do brand ambassadorship, I guess. Yeah, that's all I'm willing to do. I'm retired, you guys, okay? I don't want another full-time job because there are other things that I'm doing. All right. So you want to be monetized because of all those benefits. And also, you kind of like to share things with people. One of the things they're saying these days about why the seasoned creators, you guys, because we have a lot of knowledge. We have a lot of information we can share with the billions of people. And think of YouTube. YouTube is not limited to the US or of Canada. It's worldwide, unless some countries ban it. I don't know. There are some countries who might. You know who they are. But the reach that this platform has is insane. I can't even wrap my mind around how many people, can have access to the information that you're putting out there. So this is what you got to think of: scale, right? So you don't have to be greedy to say, I want 1 million subscribers, but have your 10,000 really relate to them and give them the information they want. Listen to what they're telling you. Oh, how about that? That apartment tour was because a couple of people that would like to see where you live. Yeah, well, I didn't want to, but I did. So you got to listen and respond. All right? Are you guys benefiting from this so far? You are funny. I try to be funny. That's the only way I stay young, okay? All right. So I told you, yeah, billions. I told you about my video, the one video that got me over 1,100 new subscribers. Think about that. The video I did about 9 things you might not like about Panama generated within about a week 1,100 new subscribers. That's insane. And like I said, I went back and I'm like, what did I say? I don't know. So the one I did 2 weeks ago is getting about 10,000 subscribers so far. And it's like I'm getting, no, not 10 subscribers, I'm sorry, 10,000 views. And I'm getting subscribers every day. But I want you to know, between 3,000 and 4,000, it was very slow. And that's why I was obsessing about looking at the analytics, looking at the count, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop. I need to stop doing that. And you're going to get to a point where you put in the work, and then you're going to have to release it. Let Mr. Algorithm do its work, okay? Because with each video, you learn, what did I do? What did I miss? Maybe I didn't understand my audience. Maybe I didn't say the right word. That SEO, somebody talked about that. Did you use the correct terminology? Because that's why you do research with the topic to say some lines that you need to use certain terminology. So that's the way it works, okay? Now, another way that helped me grow this channel is listening to your comments. Every morning, after I do my little cleanup, I get on here and I answer every comment. I don't leave. Today I saw one where somebody said about my video why I did not choose Africa over Panama, and then I don't remember seeing that comment. And he said, we don't want people like you in Africa. Oh, blah, 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 enjoy Panama. And I was like, wow, I'm sorry I missed that. You know me so well. Thanks for watching and for your comments. And I always end up on a positive spin. I have been very lucky. I haven't had too many negative comments, but sometimes you can identify a troll. But in YouTube, you have the option to remove an offending comment, and you can even block people. So someone said to me in a comment yesterday, oh, I'm so worried about the negative comments. Girl, people can be mean for no reason. They don't need to know you, and especially in this online space, some people feel emboldened to say the craziest thing to you. Got nothing to do with you. Block them. Block them. You don't need to have that kind of negativity around you. Okay? So, why should you consider, which is our topic today, and of course somebody's going to tell me, oh, you did all that rambling for 30 minutes. Yes, I did ramble. But that's my channel, my life. I can ramble if I want to, right? But to me, that's the way to connect. Man. Why should you consider starting a YouTube channel? I don't know anybody who would say, oh, it's just a hobby. I think most people would like to make a few dollars, right? Right? So if you are considering doing YouTube for the things that I said, the reach, right? The way they make the decision to split some of the ad revenues with you, and the sky's the limit. YouTube doesn't say when you get to 5 million subscribers, that's it, there's a ceiling. There is no such thing. You can go as big as you can stand it. Hola, I am fine, thank you. The danger that you can you can get sucked in. YouTube is like anything, it can become addictive. I am very aware of when something is becoming too much, wants to overwhelm me, and that's where I set barriers. That's why I said I'm not doing membership, I'm not selling t-shirts, I'm not looking to get to 1 million subscribers, I'm not gonna obsess over the analytics. I have to set those barriers, parameters for me to protect my mental health. Because at the end of the day, you should have balance. You shouldn't let anything overwhelm you or take over your life, right? Do you know that this year in 2024, I think I counted maybe 5 or 6 mega YouTube stars that have called it quits. And the videos, when they come to say, I'm quitting YouTube, are just heart-wrenching. These people are crying their eyes out. I mean, they are the expert telling me how to get monetized, telling me how to get more views, how to structure and everything. But somehow they have allowed this YouTube to take over. Because what happens in YouTube, that's why I'm calling this creators, because we are creators trying to craft ideas for a video, how you do the video, how you interact. What I'm doing with you right now, that's creativity, right? And it comes easy for some and not so easy for others. But when you so focus on the results, you so focus on the numbers, there are some young people who said they didn't even bathe for a couple of nights because they were so into it. I'm like, no, not doing that. But it depends on how important it is to you. If you want to do YouTube because you want to leave your 9 to 5 jobs, then you're really going to put a lot of work in it. Let's say I listened to this girl. She said if she quit her job, she decided to go full in on YouTube. She said she's giving herself a whole year to reach her goal. And then she asked the question herself. She said, what happens if after a year, and why a year? She said, that's how long my savings are going to last. And then they said, well, what happens if you don't make it? Well, then I guess I'm going to go find a job. That's her. I don't have any right to, criticize her. But your ultimate goal will depend on how much work you put in. So those creators who were getting to the 1 million views, because once you get to a certain point, you can't manage it all, right? You hiring people to come up with topics for you to share with your community. Because, you can only say so much about a topic before it becomes stale and you're like, okay, I'm repeating myself, what else is there, right? That's why it's kind of nice to have tangents. That's why if I have SWRA, single women retiring abroad, and then now I have this little niche of senior creators or seasoned creators, I call it. I do my cooking. You see how it is? I have a different little pots. So that way I don't feel like I'm going to be stale very quickly or get burnout. So these creators became so big, and then they had to hire so many people, and they told you themselves, they said, I felt like I lost track of why I'm doing this, because then I became a manager. I had a team of people and I was managing people. And I'm like, I left that. Why would I go back to that? So So make sure you understand in your mind why you're doing YouTube. Do you want to do YouTube because you want a side hustle? Do you want to do YouTube because you got something to share with the general population, with the world? Are you doing YouTube because of a need to express certain things? Are you doing YouTube because you want to help other people, you want to teach something? Make sure it's clear in your mind and then know when to set those parameters, okay? So a lot of those people have crashed and burned and said, I'm quitting YouTube. And I'm thinking it's so sad because had they identified their whys earlier on and maybe change it and amend it a little bit, they could have still been creative and still enjoying the journey. And I don't ever want that to happen to me. All right? Okay. And I've asked some of you if you've started only one. Good question, Courtney. I think I missed a question. Have you started your YouTube channel? A lot of us started maybe a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And a lot of times, when I see people being successful on YouTube, I go back to the information and it says, join in 2015. And I'm like, oh, that's a long time ago, right? For me, it was 2019. But I did not start getting serious about it until January of this year. Okay? So are you thinking of starting it, and why are you thinking of starting it? Okay. So that I told you I was going to make a case for YouTube. I talked about the reach, so many people, the need for information. Now let's talk about the company itself, YouTube. Now, I invite all of you to go on YouTube, put in that search section the history of YouTube, and then you're going to get some eye-opening information. YouTube was started, I think, in 2015, so it's not that, only 9 years old. It's not like a GE, a company like that. 3 guys who had worked at PayPal, and PayPal is still around, but PayPal can't hold a candle to YouTube in terms of revenues. It's like looking at Netflix versus, the other guys. And I'm telling you, you got to be up on things and look at the trend and seize opportunities. That's the way to survive in this world. 2015, 3 guys who used to work for PayPal, and they got together, they saw a need to post videos. I think someone said it started as a dating site. I mean, can you imagine that? But like any company that is successful, they went through a lot of trials. In fact, there's a story about when they moved to their first office, that the place was rat infested. YouTube. They found some angel investors, they plot on and it worked hard until they realized they couldn't grow on their own. And that's what happened to a lot of new companies. You have a great idea, you have great vision, but if you're like a mom and pop and you just you don't have a lot of people, brain power and resources, what happens? You get swallowed by a larger fish. And that bigger fish for YouTube was Google. None other than Google. So now guess what? Google was a powerhouse. And the story of Google itself is amazing. So that's why I love documentaries. I love learning how people came from nothing to where they're at now. I remember watching the story of Facebook or how it got started with these kids in college. It's amazing, and those stories are enlightening. So instead of watching, those stupid movies and shows on TV, go onto Netflix and watch some documentaries and learn the story of YouTube, Google's, all these big companies. So Google, being a giant and lots of resources and brain power, just took YouTube and just propelled it to success. So now, I don't know about you. For me, I call Google Mr. Google. When I need anything, I Google. I don't use, what's the one that's from Microsoft? Bing. I don't like Bing. Every time it comes online, I'm like, I want Google. Google Chrome. That's the only thing I use. But when I need some information, generic information, medical information, I go to Google. But if I need to know how to do something, where do you go? You go to YouTube. I mean, I remember as a supervisor, I was telling a nurse to go put a drain in somebody's lungs. And she's like, oh my God, Miss Maggie, I haven't done that in so long. I said, me neither. I said, let's go to YouTube. And so we got on YouTube, we watched them do it, and then the next day I said, let's go, I'll go with you. And we went there, we just pretended we really knew what we were doing, and we did it because we watched it being done on YouTube. And that's why YouTube has longevity, because there is no limit on how much you can learn, how much you can teach, right? So, YouTube is now the #2 search engine, because I told you before, that's all it is. It's just you're looking for information and boom, you're gonna find it. Because you know, if you go to Google, I don't care what the topic is that you're looking for information, you're gonna find it. Even Wikipedia, which is not really a very dependable source of information, I know when I was in school. When I was in school, if you quoted anything as Wikipedia, you're gonna get an F because it's not scientifically, you don't do that. But YouTube is the #2 search engine only after Google, the parent company. Isn't that amazing? So think about that. Two powerhouses, but they're not competing with each other because it's like the brother, the big brother, the little brother. It's the largest, second largest search engine. And there is a video, I might put the link in the description later on. It's called 42 YouTube Stats. You might want to write it down to know in 2024. 42 YouTube Stats. You know, figures, you know. I'm kind of a left brain. I like numbers because I need to know what I'm looking at, if it makes sense for me. And because I'm so concrete, it makes it more plausible for me. 42 YouTube Stats to know in 2024. This is a video done by someone called Sean Collins, and it's only 7 minutes long, okay? Because you need to know. So let's say your husband's like, oh my God, you're 52 years old. What do you mean? What do you know about YouTube? You could say, well, you know what? YouTube is the second search engine, and people watch it all the time, and I got something to say, I got something to share with people, and I can make a little bit of money doing it. It says that there are about 500 learning videos uploaded every minute on YouTube. So when my little video is posted on Friday, usually I do it like around 4 p.m. or 12 p.m. depending on what YouTube Studio tells me. It's part of, so you take 500 videos times 24 in one day. That's how many videos people are uploading onto that platform. Another thing for you to think about is that you don't have to worry about space, where your information is going to be stored. YouTube even gives you free music. YouTube gives you feedback after feedback about what you're doing. YouTube tells you who your audience is, their sex, the difference, not difference, but the makeup between male versus female. It tells me what the age range of the people who watch my video is. So when I craft my message, I am not really focusing on the 21-year-old, right? Because my audience are people who are looking to retire. So I'm thinking 45 plus. So you craft your message because YouTube will tell you who's watching. YouTube tells you what time of the day most of your people are online. Because when you post your video, you want it to pop on somebody's feed. Because you see that on your phone all the time, right? It will say, single women just posted a video. It's not me, it's the platform. It's YouTube. I don't tell YouTube who to post it to. The algorithm, again. Um, 1 billion hours of new content are uploaded each day. There is no limit to the learning or to the topic. YouTube is not, of course, they have rules about, children. Now they're very big. You have to always say, no, it's not made for children. They don't want, they do have the YouTube police, right? So if you're going to go up there and you're going to talk negatively, all the politics now, you're going to have the elections. They have the police watching. So you got to watch what you say. You don't try to insult certain people, make sure it's not political, it's not hateful, blah, 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 misogynic, whatever. Okay? Let's see. Yes, like I said, YouTube was started by 3 college, I want to say they were dropouts. I think they were dropouts. Isn't that the way it works? All these brainy kids didn't finish college. All right. So what makes YouTube different? We're going to go again with that. Second largest search engine, 1.65 billion with Google. That's how much Google paid to acquire YouTube, to those 3 college dropouts. And you know what these kids are doing right now? They're going ahead to create other companies. Because once you're a creator, again, the sky's the limit. I mean, as I'm talking to you and creating content, I do get other ideas. Like right now, I'd like to do a podcast, right? I'm going to be doing some travel. I want to include some of that in there. I want to continue to interview older women doing marvelous things in retirement. Because again, when you get to your why, whatever it is that you are doing, the information you want to share with someone, it needs to have some value to you. It needs to satisfy, to feed your soul. So it's like me doing a channel about restoring old shoes. I don't know anything about that, right? I'm retired, so I'm interested in the topic of retirement. I'm an expat, I'm interested in being an expat, right? On the journey to being an expat, how you can be a happy expat. My video this week is about how I am a simple life, a peaceful life in Panama, right? And that peace comes with doing something that feeds me, that keeps me excited, that gives me a reason to get up every day. Because my idea of retirement is not playing golf and going and sit and listen to people chit chat and doing nothing. I can't do that. So I had to find an outlet. Make sure again that your why is concrete and that it's not totally separate from who you are, your true self. Because you can't separate yourself from your channel. Your YouTube channel is an extension of you, of what you do, your goal, what you're trying to achieve. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you. Another thing with YouTube, unlimited topic, again, within reason. You don't want to go too crazy, right? Content ID, like I said, there is a police. They want to make sure that whatever you're talking about doesn't infringe on somebody else's, what is it? That's the word I'm looking for. Their freedom or whatever, right? They give you access to unlicensed music. The music I have on my channel is unlicensed music that I got from YouTube. I'm not paying, what's that, something cloud, you can pay for a subscription. I could, but I found this that relates to me being in Panama. Is cumbia, which is the Colombian type music, and I like it. And I get some good feedback from it. If I don't have to pay for it, why should I? I don't know if you know about me, I'm cheap that way. People sell things too. Again, you can have artwork, you can attach it to your channel, uh, t-shirts. What I would like if I ever went into the marketplace, they call it merchandise or whatever, maybe a nice knife, you know, I'm a chef, I'm into cooking. I'm more into that than a t-shirt. I'm not going to buy anybody's t-shirt. And I don't need another cup, another mug. If somebody tries to give me one, I don't need one. Don't give me another mug. Oh, you know, it's like for Christmas, you go to your mom and you give her another pair of slippers. It's like, no, she doesn't need another pair of slippers. You give your husband a tie. He doesn't need another tie. So I bake for them. That makes more sense, right? Teaching. You could teach anything on YouTube. Anything. If I need to know how to fix the thing under my sink, I go to YouTube. I had my AC in my house that was acting up. Where do I find out what's wrong with it? On YouTube. So the information is there. That's why the sky is the limit, right? And people have an insatiable appetite for new information. Now, COVID has kind of increased that thirst because people were, quarantined, in jail, in their own home. They didn't have a choice but to go online and learn things. And people have created whole new careers because of YouTube, okay? So, being a creator in today's environment is such an opportunity. But again, make sure, even when I'm doing those videos for my channel about being an expat, if you look at my playlist. The playlist, the one is Retire in Panama, where I take you through the very beginning of doing your self-assessment to say, am I a good candidate to be an expat? Not everybody is. Same thing with this YouTube thing. Are you a good candidate? If you have such stage fright that you can't even imagine sitting in front of a camera talking to hundreds of total strangers, you're going to have to get over that, sis, because otherwise it's not going to work. But what I'm telling you too, if you decide, yes, I'm going to learn how to do this, you can. You get started. It gets easier. All you have to do is look in that camera and keep talking. And one thing somebody said, and we can go in the next time when we talk about structuring your channel, if you're not sure what you need to talk about, this lady said to me the other day, oh, after watching your video, I think I found my niche. And I'm like, because that's what's going to take you the longest time. Now, if you don't have a topic, you're not sure, but you know you'd like to be on YouTube, you want to go back and say, what am I good at? What are my skill set? What information do people ask me because they see me as an expert? It doesn't have to have a name. You don't have to have a degree and title after your name. But if somebody said, oh, Maggie will know how to, to give me an answer to that. Oh, Michelle, oh, she's good at that. When 3 or 4 people tell you that, you're like, oh, well, maybe I am. Then start taking notes and say, okay, I need to explore that. Because we are multifaceted people. You're not good at only one thing. Believe me, you're not only good at one thing. So start doing your self-assessment. What am I good at? What kind of feedback do I get from people? What gives me joy? For me, cooking. Cooking is my happy place. I have known that. So I try to find a way to incorporate that in what I do. And it's a beautiful marriage. Okay? So, the partner program, you want to get monetized so you can get access to the few dollars. They say people love to video watch. I know I watch a lot of videos. So Once you decide, yes, I want to do that, in addition to doing your self-assessment, what you're good at, this your assignment for tonight before we get to the next week is to start watching videos. Some people on YouTube say, oh, start doing videos about anything and eventually it will stick. I don't recommend that, okay? Do your self-assessment, what you're good at, and say, could I talk to someone for 15 minutes about this topic? But before you can do that, you're not going to go ad lib, right? You got to do some research. Because when you're giving information, make sure it's the correct information. A lot of people on YouTube want to be creators and they're giving wrong information. I can tell you how many times I'm watching someone and I'm saying, that's not true. That's not true. Why are you saying that? But I don't take the time to go in their comments and say, oh, you are lying about that. That's just not my place. I don't have to waste my energy doing that. I don't need to engage that way. But another thing you need to do is that you got to make sure you're credible. That's why they say people like us, because we're older, we're wiser, we have life experiences, we have something to say. Make sure you have some expertise in that area. There's a young lady in Florida. She was divorced. She had a really traumatic divorce, and she created a group, Life After Divorce. Do you think she can talk intelligently about that? Yes, because she's been there. Do you think I have credibility talking about being an expat? Yes, because I am an expat. I made the move. That gives me credibility. So don't go on here trying to tell people, teach people about something you totally clueless about. This is one way you're going to kill your channel. And you know, people, not just on YouTube, people online don't give you a break. People are watching. The other day I was doing a cooking show on Sunday, and I went to the sink and I washed my hands, and there was a guy in the comment. He said, chef something. He's like, did you wash your hands? And I'm like, I just did. Yes, chef, I washed my hands. People are not going to give you a pass, right? If you mess up, they'll tell you. And let me tell you, this is one way to kill your channel. You have to be an expert. You got to be truthful. Don't make things up as you go. Do not do that. Okay? So be an expert. Let's see. Beginnings, yes. The other thing you need to consider if you want to do the YouTube channel, I said that treat it like a business. Okay. Unless you run a business, you may not know this, but it's not easy. I just told you the path that those 3 young men went through to get to where they were to be acquired by Google. I mean, I can only imagine the hours, the blood, sweat, and tears, and sleepless nights they went through. Well, they were younger, maybe they slept anyway, but I know people like us, we would lose sleep over stuff. Running a business, any business, I don't care if it's a brick and mortar, I don't care if it's a class you're teaching, I don't care if it's teaching people how to do something. If you treat it as a business, you structure it as a business, you understand that it takes time for a business to get to a point. I don't know if you've heard the word, the term called break-even point. The break-even point is like when you start a business after you borrow from your mama, your daddy, you cash your 401k like I did, and you put all your energy in your fund in it, and then you did your pro forma, you kind of manage your expenses, you kind of projected when you're going to get to that point where your income is going to match your expenses. That's what we call the break-even point. And hopefully, this is when you're going to start making a few pennies. Because, sis, Most people who start a business don't make any money sometimes for years until the business becomes successful. When I had my nursing agency, I think it was 18 months before I was able to maybe get $100 for me. Everybody else got paid, but you as your entrepreneur, as the owner, you don't. So that's why you have to have your funds on the side, right? To, to fund your life. And that's why a lot of people, the businesses don't succeed because they didn't have a cushion. They put everything they had into the business. But what are you going to live on, sis? How are you going to pay your bill? How are you going to eat? Right? So the young lady who said she was going to do YouTube full time, she did have some savings, right? She's still kind of on shaky ground because if it doesn't work, she's going to have to go back to a 9 to 5 job. And she said that. She knows that. It's a gamble, but you know what? I admire that because I'm an entrepreneur and I've taken risks in my life. Some risks have panned out, some have not, right? But I never put myself in a situation where everything goes to this idea, this business, and then I can't pay my bills, and then I'm in the street, and that's what I'm trying to keep people from the same mistake when they retire, when they become expats. You have to have some cushion. You got to be able to pay your bills. You cannot come to a different country, and then when something happens, you got nothing. Then you have to pack up and go. All right? So when you start a business, if you're starting YouTube, you have to understand that in the beginning, it's going to be hard. It's going to be dry. You're not going to have subscribers. You're going to go feel, for the last month, there were some weeks where I like, oh, this is so hard. But you know, I have been through this a few times, so I understand the assignment, right? And I'm already retired. I got my retirement. I can pay my bill. This is like a little side hustle. And also, like I said, told you, feeding my soul and keeping me engaged and excited as I age. So my reasons for doing this are multifaceted. But understand that success is not going to happen right away. It's not a sprint. You're going to hear me say that a lot. It's a daily walk. What's going to get you to monetization, and we're going to talk about that in the following live, are the day-to-day, the commitment to yourself that you're going to do the same thing whether you see results or not. Whether you go in the analytics, you wake up and you have 0 subscribers for 8 whole hours, sometimes it's days. You're going to find a way to encourage yourself and say, I am going to trust the system. I'm going to stay consistent. Okay? All right. So I think now I'd like for you to ask me questions if you want. I hope I've made the case for you as to why it is a good idea to do YouTube right now, because it's such a big social platform, right? And there is money to be made. There are some YouTubers who are millionaires. Know what your goal is, what your end point, what do you want to get from it, then that's going to determine how much time and effort you devote to it. I can't tell you what that why is, and I can't tell you how much effort you're going to put into it. It's up to you. But make sure you're smart about what you do. Don't let it take over. Don't neglect your health. You know, taking care of yourself, exercising, whatever you need to do. Don't lock yourself in a room for days trying to come up with ideas. And you know what? I tell you what, when you're trying to come up with topics to talk about for your channel, sometimes you could be in the middle of the store. Somebody's having a conversation. You're like, oh, that's why I have my phone. I have my notes. It's like, I'm gonna record that. I'm going to talk about that. And don't limit yourself as to where the information is coming from. Once you niche down, listen to your community. Give them what they want. I'm guilty of saying, oh, I think that might be a good topic. Sometimes it's a flop, and you're gonna have flops. That doesn't mean you're not gonna be successful because you have a couple of videos that don't do well. We all have videos that have flopped. Okay? We all have. So get used to it. It's gonna happen. Alright? So benefits of people over 50, people who are in our age group. And if anybody is younger than 50, I apologize. I'm trying to keep you out. But because I'm a retiree, I saw a need for a lot of people who will say, actually, say, I'm 70, I just started my channel. And I'm like, yes, that's great, you know, because I'm all about beautifully aging and being engaged and doing things. We have experience, we have knowledge, we have wisdom. You know, don't you ever see that some people get to a certain age and they act like they have no sense, they haven't heard? That's a sad thing, right? And financial pressure. Do you want YouTube to replace your 9 to 5, or are you rushing to YouTube because you want to quit your job? Slow down, sis. Plan this out. Think it through, okay? Expertise and credibility. Yes, all of those. All right. Just joining the chat, then Divine Darlings, a bit late to the party. Well, you can always look at it later. Is it easier to create the video on laptop or phone? Do you do any editing? When I first started in January, I did some on my phone. But you know, there are techniques to recording. You're supposed to record in landscape, right? And sometimes the phone doesn't give you the span that you want. But a lot of people are only using their phone to record. What they recommend is that you have a nice tripod, right? And the technique also in videotaping in landscape, what you don't want is put your face like right this on your video. And if you watch any of my earlier videos, I was like right there. And then the VA, virtual assistant, said, no, you need to step back a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, because you're gonna learn. Once you do your first video and you look back a few months, you're gonna say, oh my God, that looks terrible. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Your community that you're building, they know you're not perfect. I was doing the live the other day and somebody said, turn off the fan. I was like, oh, I didn't realize it was causing that. Be flexible and take the feedback for what it is. It's because they love you, they want you to get better. Now, I use my laptop. You always want to be facing the light, especially natural light works much better than, I don't have a ring light. I had a ring light when I was moving and I gave it to my cousin. I haven't bought one here in Panama. So if you look at my videos, I videotape like midday when the sun is up. I'm always facing the video, the window. I use my Mac laptop and I use Zoom. And Zoom is what makes my skin look so much better. I don't do any editing like that. But to edit my videos in terms of putting the thumbnail and, because I use a virtual assistant. You can go to Fiverr.com. What's the other one? Yeah, because all these virtual assistants, you can hire them from a place like the Philippines is the place they recommend that you get them from because they speak English. I used Fiverr for an ad that I was doing, and let me tell you, this girl is from Pakistan, and it was a mess. She made so many typos, the way they're spelling, it's just a mess. So I would say if you can find a virtual assistant, and I think Upwork and Fiverr.com, you can hire a virtual assistant for nothing. Now, if you have technical skills, you know how to use Canva. Canva, if you're good, in fact, I'm scheduled to take a full course on Canva. Shows you how to do your thumbnail, how to do video editing. You can use iMovie to edit your videos. You can use free software like DaVinci. When I first started in 2019, I was using, I forgot what that software is, but you can drop music, you can cut, but I'm just not technically inclined like that, and I am not very patient. So if I can pay somebody a few dollars to do it, that's what I do. So, and then like I said, I use Zoom, but Zoom, if you have a free, I gotta plug my phone, you guys. If you have a free program, Zoom only limits you to 40 minutes. Which I think is good because I don't want to do a video that's longer than that. I think it's too much. Okay, I'm gonna have to plug my phone. Um, oops. Okay, sorry about that. Now, the other thing too is you could get a subscription from StreamYard. StreamYard has a free subscription, but there's certain things you can't do. So what I do, I video, like all my videos, I'm sitting where I'm sitting right here. Sometimes I turn it around so I can show my little flower here on my dining room table because I think it's good for the background. Some people say just have a white background. Some people put like a black something in the back. You could play around with it. And if you've got the skills to do that, by all means. I can relate to first videos. Oh my God, yes. But I just laugh because, but you know what? It's good. Then you see the growth, don't you? You see the improvement. So I videotape. I do an intro because that's the thing we're going to talk about. In order for you to make a video that people are going to watch, start reading or watching the experts tell you how to do it. Your thumbnails are different from your title. What you put on your thumbnail should be different. Your titles can be long. If you have a long thing on your thumbnail, it's not good because it doesn't catch the eye. Understanding that people they have short attention span, right? You want something that's gonna say, oh, that sounds interesting. And they click on your video and you have 5 seconds to hook them. And that's a whole thing you're gonna have to learn. So thumbnail, your title, and your hook and the intro, that's important, okay? Because again, YouTube is gonna tell you how long people are watching your video. Do they click off after 30 seconds? That means you have not done the hook. You have not caught their interest. And that's why I'm telling people this is not easy. You got to think through. Sometimes I record something multiple times, I would do it. I'm like, no. Or if the intro is like 20 seconds, no. You have to trim it down to 5. This is where the learning comes from. And Mr. Beast, who has like 300 million subscribers, he would tell you, he says, you need to improve something with each video, whether it's the lighting, whether it's the intro, whether it's the hook, whether it's how long you record, where you record, how you record. You got to be a student. You got to be a student. Yeah, you can use your phone. And I do a lot of shorts as I go around wherever I'm at. I'm like, oh, this will make a good short, because one of my goals is to show people what's happening around this country. So people are always curious. And again, keep thinking because you're growing your audience. The people who are talking to you, you're going to have more people. So maybe you did it in one video, in a short, and you think, oh, I've done that before, but maybe that person hasn't seen it, okay? So don't get caught up in that. Hello, my sister Maggie. What is your email where I can talk with you without being on YouTube? The email that we're using for my channel is tellmeaboutswra, SWRA @gmail.com. Tellmeaboutswra @gmail.com. All right, guys, the next topic we're going to talk about, I think I talked about it today. What is your why? Maybe we're going to talk about channel structure, how to structure your channel for success, because that's why you came to this live, to know how to monetize. In order for you to get to the 1,000 subscribers, we're going to talk about, of course, why you're doing it. What do you think your audience is going to be? Talk to people again, your friends, your family. Just say, what do you think I'm good at? I've always been one to talk. I've done a lot of teaching of nurses, so I'm okay talking to people. I relate, I keep it light, I make fun. You know, you guys see me cracking myself up, but it may not be easy for you. You know, but all I know is that on YouTube, if you sit like at a desk and you saying something in a monotonous voice, that's not going to work. The people who are doing are killing it are doing all a bunch of things, because you don't want your video to be the same thing. That's why, you know, we have what we call B-rolls. You pop a picture here and there, a short clip here and there, and then you break it up, because you've got to keep people's attention, right, while you're teaching them something. It's not easy. It's not easy. And some people are just have become over time masters of it. And I hope I can, I don't know about a master, but maybe I can get better at it. Just joining now. Oh, Claude, you are late to the party, my dear. Always late. Uh-oh. Interesting topic. I will listen a little bit. Might leave early. That's okay. We're just wrapping up right now. We'll be back again next Wednesday. Not seeing you, Maggie. Hola. Panama might be my country. Hey, if that materializes, we might meet each other. That would be great. That would be great. There's so many of us coming here. You know what? I will be walking on what we call the Cinta Costera, which is what you would call the Malecon. It's over by the waters. And, you know, I hear somebody say YouTube, or I hear somebody call something, and then it's like, oh, watch your channel, and we're fist bumping, and it's so fun. I met this guy outside the metro station the other day. I heard YouTube, and I turned around, he said, I was watching you last night. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And that's why I say now, when I go out, I got to make sure I look presentable. I don't know who I'm going to run into. Yes, yes, YouTube. There is YouTube University. Start going there, look at the topics. They tell you how to do your thumbnail. They tell you how to do your intro. They'll give you all kinds of tips. And not just YouTube University. Just go in the search and put the topic. How about lighting? Now, people tell you to buy this equipment, that equipment. It's up to you if you want to spend the money. But if I'm not making money on YouTube, why should I invest my money on that yet? No, I'm not doing that. That's why I told you, I don't have a ring light, I don't have a backdrop, this is it. I just make sure it's me. I use the natural light. I use Zoom. There's a good microphone in my MacBook, which is good. But I do have another microphone somewhere, but I haven't used it yet. I see people, you know, with their little feathery things on their lap. I'm not into that yet. Very generic and not scientific at all. I will be in Panama in November in time to celebrate Panama Independence Day. Oh, that's good. I cannot wait. Yeah, I'm going to be on a trip from the 12th to the 22nd. But the first celebration is November 3rd, which is Panama's independence from Colombia. I hope I don't get it mixed up. It's the 3rd and the 28th. They celebrate twice. And people will tell you, don't plan on having anything serious done in November in Panama. The mind is on the La Fiesta. It's the beats, it's la música, and everybody's partying, okay? Yes, you're welcome. Well, I don't know that it's simple. I'm just saying there's a system, and you have to be willing to be a student and learn to stick with the system and do things the way they tell you to do it. Don't just go by, by the seat of your pants and just do what you think is the right thing to do. You got to follow the system. I'm under 50, but I'm grateful for your channel. Oh, thank you. It was very enlightening. I've been studying YouTube. Good for you. Just got to do it. Yeah, find your topic. And you know, one thing I wanted to say to tell you, if you're still not clear about your topic and your niche is going to come from the people who watch you, who are interested and are giving you feedback. Somebody would say, just start talking about something that you're passionate about. Because once you start talking, people are going to respond. And remember, there are billions of people in this world. Somebody is going to like what you have to say. So sometimes you got to be patient before you find your niche. Remember, I started in 2019. I started at Maggie Lazar. Then I went to a nurse in the kitchen. Then I changed to in-service retirement until I finally got single women retiring abroad. It's a process, okay? Don't say, oh, I know my niche. It might change. It might change. So give yourself some time and some grace. Why'd you choose Panama? I told my story. I came to see the canal in 2019 and I fell in love with the country. I love the food, the weather, the people, the flexibility, the way they embrace life, the way they're really chilled and not so intense. The fact that it's closer to home, I can take a flight for less than 3 hours and I can go home. It was a multitude of things, but when I visited and fell in love, it was in love to visit again, not necessarily to retire. And then when I went and checked out Africa and it didn't work so much, I said, let me check Panama again. And every time I came back, I made 3 trips. It was like, oh, I still like it. I still love it. I love it more. I could see myself here. I'm calmer. I'm happy when I'm here. So when it was time to retire, it was a no-brainer. What time zone? It's CST, Central Standard Time. You guys on the East Coast are 1 hour ahead of Panama with all these daylight saving time you guys do. So right now you are 1 hour ahead. I meant we don't have to have a certain microphone camera. No, you don't. You don't. You know, if you have an iPhone and an Android, they have a pretty good camera, okay? You can use those. But eventually, if you want to buy the fancy stuff, I have not. I'm talking to you on my iPhone right now, but when I record every week, I use my MacBook, and I don't have an external mic. And I sound pretty good on it, so. Thinking of Panama as well. So many people, Greta, are here. The other day, one of the guys that I met, he said, oh, Panama, YouTube. He's like, I see so many people coming here. What's going on? Well, you know, the election scared a lot of people, Americans, so a lot of people are coming here because they didn't want to be around for the election. Today, I dropped my absentee ballot at the embassy, and I pray it gets there and something happened through that they counted. I don't know. I did what I could. But Panama is very attractive to a lot of people right now. People who are retired, the pensionado visa is super popular. We get so many perks, and life is quiet, it's calm. People are not stressed, blood pressures are down, people are being taken off medication, the food is great. Panama is it. So I don't know, we'll get to a point, there'll see too many of us here, but right now they're coming. We are 6 hours behind you. Where are you, Antia? Because my VA, she's in the Philippines, she is 13 hours ahead of me. So I have to always think, you know, when I'm talking to her, so I don't, you know, send an email another night or something like that. Panama is great. I have traveled to Panama 4 times. Wow. Now by myself and have never felt threatened. Are you here in Panama? You say you're 6 hours. I'm 6 hours behind you. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, in the UK. Oh, yes. Because the UK, when I was in Florida, the UK was 5 hours ahead. So definitely now with the saving time is 6. Yeah, we are 6 hours behind you. Oh, okay. We're in the UK. I've been to London and I was in Manchester for 3 weeks. At one point, I wanted to practice nursing in the UK, so I went to. There was a nurse who was giving a 3 week course for nurses from outside the UK, and then they teach you, the culture and all that. And then at the end, you had to do a presentation. My presentation was comparing healthcare access in the US compared to the UK. And then you had to take, we took an exam. I think we took an exam, and then we got a license from the MMS or something like that. That was the organization that managed nursing, and I got it. I got my card. But my daughter was a teenager, and I remember the instructor. She's like, "Maggie, you're good. I can help you. You should stay." But I didn't. Sometimes I feel I should have, but anyway, things happen for a reason. And then all that rain all the time, I don't know if it might have affected my mood. But I love London. Ooh. I went to a concert at I forgot what the hall was. I love that. You have residency to Panama. Oh, good. Is your mother Panamanian? West Midlands. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I've only been to London and Manchester. So I don't know anything else outside of that. Yes, the Royal Albert. Ooh, what a pretty place. But I'm all into classical music and opera and stuff like that. Yeah, that's right up my alley. Mm-hmm. Any other questions, guys? So next week when we meet, we'll talk about how to structure your channel to make sure you get monetized. But I'm not going to tell you you get monetized in 30 days or 60 days. I don't have a crystal ball. All I'm going to tell you is the system, the plan that you have to be on, the consistency, how to structure everything for success. That's all. No promises. I'm not, God. But I know that in YouTube, if you follow the process, the plan, you will get successful. I apologize, I didn't get what time you go live on Wednesdays. 6 p.m. here, which is 7 p.m. EST in the US. My passion has always been alternative medicine. Okay. Went from bachelor in science, but wanted to be a nurse in my 20s, never did it. There is a doctor. I'm trying to set up an interview with him here. He was working in the system here, but he's into holistic type of medicine, and that there was a clash between him and the establishment because medicine in the Western world is medication instead of looking at prevention. So now he's got his own clinic and he can do what he wants. So I want to interview him from that. And I remember in Florida, I had a doctor like that too. He wanted to tell his patient to take this potion, that herb, and they brought him in and like, you will not do that. And he left too. So alternative medicine is certainly something that people are interested in. I am looking forward to learning from you as I would like to have a YouTube channel. Yes. Thanks for sharing. My pleasure. My pleasure. 12 midnight your 12 midnight your time. Yes. Well, you can watch the replay. It's not the same, but you can watch the replay. You're welcome, New Beginning. You quite welcome. I think I just want you guys to realize what an opportunity we as seasoned creators have. We have, and I watched this video of this young man on YouTube. He's like, I'm so jealous. You all can get things done like that. Me, I have to go round and round before I can figure it out. I'm like, you don't get the gray hairs for nothing. You got to be worth something, right? You would love that. Holistic healthcare and alternative medicine. Yes, yes. Because I think in a way I speak holistically as a nurse practitioner. I'm one, I don't ever want the first line to be a script. I don't. You want people to look at themselves, their past, go inward, look at their lifestyle, all the things around that can affect them, and that's more important than a pill. I agree. True, true, true. Oh my God. Okay. Bye, Althea. You need to go to bed, girl. Are there holistic doctors there? I believe so. I am part of a women's group, and that's talked about all the time. There's a group here. If you say, ladies, do you know anything about this? 3, 4 people gonna giving you address for everything. So we pretty much have everything here in Panama. I mean, certain spices, ingredients you may not find, certain things for your hair you're probably not gonna find, but we make it work. We roll with the punches and you go to the next thing. It's not a problem. I want my channel to be conscious healing. Yeah. And you know, you can start with a name and remember you can always change it to match exactly. Once you find your niche and you narrow down what you want to do, the name might change. You just need to be flexible. Okay? So lovely to have seen you live, Maggie. Thank you so much. I'm off to bed. Yep, night night. Thank you so much. Yep, go to bed. We'll talk to you next week. Take care. Good night. Don't forget Sunday though. We're cooking the cornbread and vegetable chili. So for those of you in cool weather, you might like that. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found value in my little presentation that YouTube is a good choice for all the right reasons. So now we're going to get to work. So your homework between now and next Wednesday is to start jotting down what you're good at and what you think you want to do. Remember, it might change, but you need to have all the ideas you have, just write them down. You could be in the shower, it pops in your head, turn off the water and write it down. I do that all the time. Sunday, 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock Eastern. All right? Bye, guys. Nice to see you. Good night. Good evening. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Bye. Buenas noches. Nurses speak. Oh, I didn't know you were there. I'm waiting for you to get in touch. All right.